Now, going into AFCON 2023, Senegal will be the team to beat as they look set to defend the title. They won for the first time in Cameroon. Senegal lost the AFCON final in 2019 to Algeria. 2 years later, they defeated perennial winners Egypt 4-2 on penalties to win the AFCON. In the build-up to the tournament, Senegal was one of the three teams not to lose in the qualifiers, with 4 wins and 2 draws, with the team having an abundance of talent to call upon following their success at age-grade tournaments. Senegal's team is stacked with strength and experience of the older players and the pace and trickery of the younger ones. Aliou Cisse made history in 2022 when he became the first coach in the country's football history to win the AFCON, their first major honor. But the big question remains if Senegal's Teranga Lions will defend their title in Ivory Coast. To discuss this further, we are joined by Femi Faraway, a sports journalist. Thank you so much for your time, Femi.
Good to be here.
All right, now, Al Nassr star Sadio will lead the line when Senegal takes on the rest of the continent at AFCON 2023 as the reigning champions of Africa. Now, will you tag them one of the favorites to win the tournament?
Well, certainly, you have to put Senegal right up there. Defending champions, and just like you said, the manager, Aliou Cisse, has developed their football from where it was to where it is at the moment. Remember, in 2019, like you said, made the final. Before that, they finished off in the quarterfinal, the 5th best team in Africa. So you can see there's been steady progress from 5th to 2nd to 1st. Now, the problem is once you get to the summit, what do you do? But then that's what the manager has done already. He's been able to put experience and a lot of young footballers. And the last tournament, we know the likes of Edward Mendy, Kalidou Koulibaly, Sheikh Kouyaté, and also Sadio Mane were the leaders of this team. But right now, they've added a few more younger footballers to come through, Iliman Ndiaye, and also the Chelsea forward, Nicholas Jackson. And when you've got players like this, you know that the coach can chop and change, blend, a mixture of both young and old. And that's, I think, what stands out for Senegal, because currently the Cup of Nations is very difficult to predict. But the Senegalese obviously have got a team, and that's the best way for you to go on and conquer Africa.
All right, now the team, has got an abundance of talent following their success at the age grade tournament. Now, Senegal's team is stacked with strength and also experience of the older players and the pace and trickery of the younger ones. Now, do you see this, enough to bolster their campaign?
I totally think so, and I believe it has everything they need, the right ingredients. You talked about the under-20 champions there, the CHAN, they're also champions there. Beach soccer, Senegal are champions. So it tells you Senegalese football is doing something very good at this moment. And that's what's exciting about their football, because they've got a blend of foreign, local, international, even Saudi Arabia, all to merge everything together. They are currently one of the powerhouses in African football. And since Aliou Cisse remained one of the few local managers who's been able to manage both foreign and local players together in his team, I think that will work well for them. They're also in a very difficult group. You've got a group that's called Guinea. They've got Cameroon in that group. These are teams that can obviously shock them. But I think the Senegalese have got a lot of leaders, and leaders is what you need currently on the African scene if you want to make it through. So I do believe they've got the quality. I do believe they've got the right manager. There have been some stories coming out about non-payment of salaries over the past 6 months. But I love how the manager has dispelled all those stories by saying, look, I'm totally focused on just the AFCON. After we finish the AFCON, I could be worried about what else comes. But despite all the problems they've got, I think Senegal are one of the teams to watch out for when the Cup of Nations starts next week.
Now, there were reports filtering from Senegal that the coach, Aliou Cisse, has been unpaid in the last 6 months. Do you think this difficult choice seems to betray the man with the dreadlocks, who is not alone but joined with members of his technical staff in this situation?
Well, it's a problem with African football, and it's not a good thing. It's not a great story. But like I said, I listened to the manager's interview in November when this same question was posed towards him, and he said, look, he's totally focused on qualifying Senegal for the next World Cup because they had the World Cup qualifiers, and then taking Senegal to the Africa Cup of Nations to defend the title. right? Only one team has ever defended the title, and that's Egypt. So Senegal have got that same task right in front of them, just at the time when a lot of other teams are currently improving. Algeria are better than they were in 2019. Egypt are better than they were in 2019. Cote d'Ivoire are also to be very difficult to beat. Nigeria are also right there. You don't even know what Cameroon would offer once the tournament starts. So there's a lot of things to come through. There's a lot of permutations. The best thing for the manager at this point is to focus on this tournament. And I think that's what he's going to do. Afterwards, they can sit down and iron out the details of how much is being owed and what he deserves to be paid. I don't think it will be a serious problem for him. Not because owing is good, no. But I'm sure that if any problem comes through, he can take his case to FIFA and CAF and get it sorted out.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Femi Faraway, sports journalist. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.